If you struggle with food cravings and losing weight and you feel like you tried every diet out there, yet you're always hungry, you're storing fat, and you have no energy, then listen up. Today I'm going to be taking you guys through and sharing with you all my top tips, not just to get rid of cravings. I'm not talking about just replace this food with this. I'm talking about implementing changes and different strategies to help you burn fat, build muscle, and get rid of cravings for good once and for all. First off, why do we get cravings? There are so many different reasons why you can get cravings. And a big one is our diets are very high in refined carbohydrates and sugar, as well as a lot of artificial sweeteners that spike our insulin. They cause us to get that dopamine, that pleasure hormone, making us crave more. And this does not work with weight loss, because if you're craving more, you're gonna want more food, you're gonna grab more food, you're gonna have more carbohydrates, keep spiking insulin, and then all of a sudden, a few months later, you look in the mirror and you're like, what happened? How did I get here? So we're gonna get started today, and I'm gonna be taking you guys through the strategies that you could start implementing today to help you burn fat and get rid of cravings for good. And before we go, make sure to subscribe. I have new videos every single week for you guys, and I have so much content. Wednesdays, every workout, Sundays, nutrition tips, and Monday, if you have not been to my live, I do a weekly Q&A every single Monday, so make sure to join that this week. The first reason why you may be getting cravings is because you are eating too many meals and snacking in between them. So I know we hear it all the time, eat 6 small meals a day. That's gonna boost your metabolism, help you burn fat. But you know what? We're gonna talk why I actually only do 2 to 3 meals a day. So first off, guys, when you are snacking in between your meals, I've talked about this in the past in terms of gut health. There's something called the MMC pathway. The MMC pathway helps get rid of the bad bacteria. It helps everything move through, as well as if you are having times between your meals, around 3 to 5 hours. So it takes around 90 minutes for the MMC pathway to come in, and for it to do its whole sweeping, it takes approximately 3.5 to 4 hours. So snacking in between your meals doesn't allow for that clean out effect, which helps with digestion, which your gut is the center of your metabolism, your gut biome, as well as snacking in between your meals is gonna constantly spike your insulin. So every single time you put a carbohydrate, protein in your body, you're spiking your insulin levels. If your diet is high in refined carbs and all of a sudden you're just eating, say you're eating 6 small meals a day, you have, spike insulin, spike insulin, spike insulin, spike insulin, you're never gonna be dipping into that fat storage zone. So you're not gonna be dipping into your fat storage to burn more fat. You're gonna be continuously spiking your insulin, which is gonna have that dopamine effect, causing you to crave more food, especially the carbohydrates, the sugary ones, and you aren't gonna have that sweet, the migrating motor complex turning on, so digestion, gut health, all of that. So instead of doing 6 meals a day, if you're getting a lot of cravings, maybe try taking your macronutrients and bringing it down to 2 to 3 meals and doing something like intermittent fasting, so that you're getting the gut benefits and so that you are getting that insulin response as well. The second reason why you may be having food cravings is because you are not eating enough at your meals. And this kind of goes with the first one, but basically we're in a society, and I feel like what we tend to do is we tend to eat a little bit for breakfast, and then we almost like allocate everything to dinner. And what happens if we're eating a little bit at breakfast and we're not fully satisfied and we're not getting the right food in, which I'm gonna hit in a second, then what happens, your body goes, I'm hungry. I'm not getting enough food in. So it tells your brain, you know what, I need more food. Hence, you get a craving. And then the craving, you wanna go again toward the refined food, and then you start eating food, and so forth. So by eating enough, eating to satiety at your meals instead of snacking like we talked about, that is really, really a big deal, because now you're going from eating these little small meals where you're not satisfied and you're spiking your insulin every few hours, and now you're eating a meal, you're eating it to satiety, you feel full, and then you have that period of time between the next meal to where you could burn through your food, start dipping into the fat storage, have the migrating motor complex, and again, setting yourself up for success. So we're gonna go into number 3. At the end, I am gonna go through all of these and simplify it again, and I'm gonna put full detailed timestamps below for you guys if you guys want to skip forward. My third one is gonna be you're not eating the right food at your meals. So I talked about this before. We tend to grab more towards processed foods, easy to grab carbohydrates. I tell a lot of my clients, we need to switch the way we're looking at things. Things like protein and fats, which should be, a majority of our plate, getting in high quality protein, wild caught fish. Protein has a thermogenic effect on the body. So if you're eating protein is not only from the right sources like wild caught fish, so you like your salmon, your sardines, all of that is gonna have, even your beef, it's gonna have your magnesium, your potassium, all of your vitamins in it. It's gonna have the protein for satiety. And also, when you eat protein, your body actually burns 20% of that for thermogenic effect of food. So protein is very, very important to have on that plate and should be a good majority of that plate. Then, filling up the plate with the healthy fats. You can do the avocado, the olive oil. Fats don't spike your insulin that much. They have a little, and you actually need your fats for absorbing your fat-soluble vitamins. And then go ahead, try to stick to whole food base. You can do your sweet potato, your carbohydrates that are gonna have your healthy fiber in there, as well as nutrients. Like I said, guys, when you are eating your meals, this is the way it should be. Have that carb, the fat, and the protein, but stabilize the blood sugar levels, focusing on having the quality protein. And I'm gonna put a full video below for you guys. I did a whole video on how to break your fast with recipes and everything so that you could burn fat, build muscle, and get rid of your cravings. Because cravings all have to do with insulin, the food that we're eating, sleep, stress, and so forth. So, number 3 is gonna be we're not getting the right foods in. So instead of grabbing towards the oatmeal for breakfast or, the juice that has, a bunch of apples in it and just straight sugar, go for nutrients. Look at your plate. Ask yourself, I ask myself every single meal, what is this meal doing for me? And how does it make me feel? If I'm having for breakfast, which this is one of my favorite breakfasts, I love just doing, you guys know I love sardines. I love doing either wild Alaskan sockeye salmon or sardines for breakfast with some duck eggs. I'll do my olive oil on top with some sliced avocado, and I'll do arugula, and then I add my salt to it. And I look at that and I'm like, okay, I'm getting protein, building blocks of protein. I'm getting high omega-3s, DHEAs in my brain, so I'm getting that. If I'm doing the sardines, I'm getting calcium, vitamin D. And then in my avocado, I'm getting all of my magnesium, potassium, healthy fibers in there. That's gonna keep me full, help with bowels, all of that. And then I'm getting in the olive oil, the healthy fats to help me absorb those fat-soluble nutrients. And you guys see where I'm saying. That meal is gonna make me feel good, and it's gonna provide my body with everything it needs to run good. And the protein, the fat in there are gonna give me satiety, keep me full, so I don't get the cravings. If now, instead, I just grabbed the greens juice or like the granola or the cereal and threw, more fruit on top of it, and we're not getting the protein and not enough fats, you're not gonna be satisfied. 30 minutes later, you're gonna have that drop in your blood sugar level, which is gonna, again, stimulate a craving, and then you're gonna wanna eat again and snack. So look at what you are eating. Again, I will put below a video on my top breakfast ideas, how to break your fast too, and I really think you're gonna enjoy. I have a really good recipe in there with hemp seeds, and it's phenomenal. And I'll put that below. The 4th reason why you could be getting cravings is because Number one, you're looking up food. I call it food porn, as we all know, but you're looking up pictures of food that just is like chocolate, and then, or you're in an environment that you smell baked goods around. If you're putting yourself in an environment surrounded by food that smells amazing, or you're just looking up photos of food that just looks so delicious, you're gonna be releasing the dopamine in your brain, the pleasure hormone. That is gonna cause you to have a craving. So instead of looking up all of these, I say, healthy alternatives to unhealthy food, or being in areas where you're always like doing your work in a cafe, you may smell the baked goods and you may want to have more cravings. So get yourself instead, go out for a walk. I love just adding in when I get stressed out through the day, or if I ever did get a craving in the past, I'll just go for a 20-minute walk. It allows me to clear my mind. The vitamin D does good for me, and I get outside with the fresh air instead of sitting on my phone and looking at what kind of cool thing I can make and smelling all these things. So remember, guys, your brain is smart. Like, we got all our 5 senses. If you're surrounding yourself, you're looking at pictures of food that's gonna make you crave it, you smell it and you're surrounding it, you're gonna crave it, because that's just what happens. The dopamine, guys, the pleasure hormone. The 5th reason why you may be getting cravings could be you're low in bile. So I work with a lot of clients and they come with me with a lot of different issues. And I worked with people that have had no gallbladder, had it removed, and what happens is when you have different digestive issues or things like you don't have a gallbladder, had it removed, what happens is when you have the gallbladder, okay, that bile helps emulsify the fats so you absorb the fat-soluble vitamins. It helps break down the food. If your body is not having that gallbladder and you're not getting something like bile salts, something to support your bile production, you will not be able to be absorbing all of your fat-soluble nutrients, and you may start getting nutrient deficiencies. This could lead to, having digestive issues, that could lead to metabolism issues, cravings, and so forth. I have a whole playlist on digestive issues. I will put that below for you guys, but I would say talk to your doctor always. If you have some type of digestive issue or something like a gallbladder issue, look into supporting that. Like I said, I utilize things like bile salts, as well as I take digestive enzymes, and then I make sure through my diet, I am getting all my fat-soluble vitamins coming from easy to absorb foods like I talked about. If you're not getting your fat-soluble, like your vitamin D, E, K2, all of that, I'm doing my egg yolks, I'm doing my sardines, I'm getting out in the sun. I'm really providing my body with all of those nutrients via my diet, getting outside and moving my body, and then supporting the digestive process. So if you have a health issue or something going on in the body, that could be an underlying cause, and if you're not absorbing and getting all of your nutrients in. And another way you could do this is like a hair mineral analysis. That's another way you could check and see if you're absorbing all your minerals and so forth. The 6th reason you may be getting cravings is electrolytes. So there's so many different types of diets out there right now. We got people doing keto, carnivore, you got 12-hour fasting, 14-hour, 16-hour, longer fasting. And with all of these crazy diets out there, I feel like people, they tend to go, okay, it's January. Well, it's not January anymore, but in the beginning of the year, they're like, I want fat loss, I have these goals, okay, what can I do? And they pick the most extreme diet or whatever, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna cut carbs. And then they don't do all the research behind it and what is happening in the body. And something that happens is when you go on any type of low carb diet, ketogenic diet, you implement fasting, or you're just eating a diet that's not rich in your fruits, your vegetables, but also not a lot of refined foods, so like a whole food based diet, but not enough vegetables. What happens is your sodium, your potassium, and your magnesium. So these are 3 large electrolytes, and they could become depleted when you're doing fasting, when you're doing, like I said, low carb, all of that. If you notice, you start to get headaches. If you're feeling fatigued, low energy, other things, it has to do with definitely the digestive system. If you're low in electrolytes and you're on a keto carnivore diet and you're not having bowel movements, You need sodium, potassium, magnesium for muscle contraction and relaxation. So electrolytes and salting your food is huge if you're doing any type of low carb, ketogenic, fasting, because just you want to make sure your body's running at optimal levels. So if you are implementing the things that I'm telling you right now, and you're number one, you are starting to eat more of a whole food diet, rich in your protein, your fats, getting away from all the processed food, away from the sugars, away from the refined carbs, and then you're doing more of like the time in between the meals and you're training hard, make sure you're salting your food. And I do the Redmond's Real Salt. I will put a link below for you guys. It is the best salt out there. It is just, I can't say better things about them. I'm obsessed. And I also supplement with the LMNT electrolytes. I do my LMNT electrolytes 2 times a day. The raw ones you can do fasted. There is no stevia, nothing in them, so they will not break a fast. I do them during my workout and they give me so much energy. And I also feel like my body, if you guys have ever drank water and you feel like the water is just going right through you, or you're having sloshing in your stomach, you may not be fully absorbing and getting all of the, like I said, the potassium, the sodium, magnesium. Your body is not getting everything that it needs for all the cellular functions in your body. So I did a whole video, and I actually did a whole video on why 95% of people drink water the wrong way. So I'm gonna put that below for you guys. Give it a watch. It's a good video, and implementing these changes, like I'm telling you guys, even things like cold water can cause issues. So I will put that below, but my whole point of this tip is just focus. If you're eating a whole food diet, make sure you're not neglecting salting your meals, getting your electrolytes in. We're in a life right now where everyone is, I feel like people are afraid of salt, afraid of adding salt to their meals. They think they're gonna retain water and all of that, but I'm just here to tell you and to break that stigma and say, if you are eating a clean diet, you are eating whole foods, you are intermittent fasting, you are training hard, your body needs electrolytes to function, your magnesium, sodium, potassium. Don't be afraid. I salt every single meal. I do my electrolytes. And if you guys want to try the electrolytes out that I do, you can get a free 8 sample pack. I will put it below. And the raw one is in there, the one I do fasted, as well as the chocolate one that I do. And I make a whole hot chocolate recipe that I'm going to talk about in a second for you guys. And it cuts cravings. The 6th reason why you're getting cravings could be you're not getting enough sleep. And I know, just give me a second. So getting less than 8 hours of sleep actually increases cortisol. It gives you those late night munchies to where you want those pleasure foods. You start craving the salty and the fatty foods, and then we have the munchies and it tastes so good and we can't stop. Okay guys, so this is what we do. Number 1, if you guys have a hard time getting sleep, I hear it all the time, my life's crazy, what do I do? These tips are for you. So first off, that last meal of dinner, try to keep it 3 hours before bed. Eating right before you go to bed, the food is gonna sit in your system, especially if you're having carbs, it's like gonna give you energy, you're not gonna be able to sleep, gonna throw it all off. So I keep my dinner 3 hours away from bed. I kind of eat with a circadian rhythm. I like to eat, as the sun's going down, have everything, boom. Okay, so 3 hours before bed. Number 2, get an eye mask. I get one on Amazon. I sleep with my eye mask. That complete darkness helps, again, fall asleep, stay asleep, and reset the circadian rhythm. Get to bed before 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, cortisol levels go up, and then not only do I have a hard time falling asleep, but staying asleep. And this, I have a few more tips for sleep. This is my have to. Every single night, I get a notepad. I have a notepad, and I keep it by my bed. And I feel like a lot of the reasons my clients have a hard time sleeping is they have so much going on. Their moms or, their parents, their work women, they got so much going on and they can't stop their mind. So I tell them, before you go to bed, get your notepad, because we don't want to be on our phone or computer, all of the lights, that's going to keep us awake. We get off of those. Write out everything on your mind in that notepad before you go to bed. It clears your mind, allows you to just fall asleep like a baby. And then my other tip is to, throughout the day, get foods rich in tyrosine. Tyrosine is in red meat, it's in chicken. It helps with that dopamine. Again, makes you feel better, helps with mood, and therefore that amino acid too helps us make better changes in our diet, okay? And then I know, I have to throw in one more tip for you guys, but magnesium too. If you're still having a hard time going to bed, I will put the favorite magnesium that I like to use below for you guys with free shipping, and that's something that you could make. I do the peach ring one, and I'll make it on a tea, especially for my females out there. If you're on your period and you have a hard time sleeping or cramps, you could do the magnesium for bed. You're gonna have a great bowel movement in the morning. You're gonna sleep like a baby. And if you're getting better sleep, your cortisol levels are gonna go down. Your hormones are gonna start, just like your metabolism's gonna start going up. You're gonna feel stronger in the gym. You're gonna have more energy. Your cravings are gonna go down. And then making all these changes, it just all comes into play. So you guys are kind of starting to see what I'm talking about. My very last reason why you guys may be getting cravings is, you ready for it? I kind of hit this in a few different ways, but I kind of want to come back around to it. So it's allocating our calories toward the end of the day. So I talked about in the beginning how most people tend to kind of have a small breakfast, not be satisfied at that breakfast, allocate our calories toward the end of the day. And then I also talked about how you don't want to eat all of your calories toward the end of the day, because then you're not going to sleep good. And also, if you go to bed on the food's just going to sit in your stomach. You're not, actively moving and burning that calories. So what I like to do is I'm all about blood sugar balance. I love my clients. I tell them to plan out your meals. Try 2 to 3 meals a day. Allocate your macros, your calories, what you need to reach your meals at those amount of meals, whether it be 2 or 3. And start making that structure. The more structured you are with your diet and like the times that you're eating and you're getting, a good 40 grams of protein at that meal, a good amount of fat, and then you're getting your vegetables and the fiber there, your meals are gonna start stabilizing your blood sugar levels. Getting enough protein is gonna have that satiety. The healthy fats, you're gonna start absorbing your nutrients. Cravings just start going away, and it's all about our gut microbiome. It's all about what you're putting in your body. It's all about your stress, your sleep. And it's about implementing all of these lifestyle changes together to get rid of those and to get you burning fat. So it's not, hey, I need to start adding in all of these different types of things. I'm having cravings, so now I need to cut all carbs. I'm having cravings, so maybe I can try all these different types of recipes. No. Get down to the root cause of it, look at your diet, start getting rid of the processed foods, start implementing, getting enough protein, enough healthy fats, look into intermittent fasting, start strength training 3 days a week. That's gonna help with insulin response. As you get older, clients of mine, they know they're always gonna be strength training minimum 3 times a week to keep the lean muscle mass, because when we get older, our body, especially females going through menopause, insulin levels, you start storing fat here, losing our muscle mass, less insulin sensitive, and energy goes down and metabolism goes down. So by implementing all of these, you're able to just hack the metabolism, get your body in the right place to where you're absorbing your nutrients, you're getting everything it needs, as well as you're helping balance your gut, your hormones, and all of that. And I am gonna put, though, I have to say this, if you guys have not checked out my my no sugar 65 calorie hot chocolate, I'm gonna put it below. It's my favorite way to finish up the night. I eat so clean. I have all my what I eat in a day's up, but I eat so clean, and I do this chocolate drink every night, and it's so healthy. It actually helps heal the gut. It has the electrolytes in it, so it helps get rid of cravings, and there's no sugar, so it's not gonna, if you're on weight loss, it fits your macros, it makes you feel good, and it benefits you in a positive manner. So I hope you guys enjoyed this today. Please make sure to subscribe. Let me know if you try any of these tips out. And also, if you guys have any inquiries, I am now taking on a few clients. send me over an email. I'll put it below. It's ElizabethAylorFitness@gmail.com. Make sure that you are following me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm there every single day sharing all my food, everything on my stories. I do daily nutrition tips. And of course, I'm here 3 times a week with you. So if you found this video helpful, share it with a friend. You could just click the share button, send it to someone, and let's create a community over here helping people achieve their goals. Love you.